What would happen to him when he is completely shutting down his humanity? He also didn't have a Tony Stark. He didn't have an Aunt May. It allowed us to pull back and look a little deeper into Peter Parker, the character. I think audiences, even in the big spectacular moments of this movie, will find that they are still very connected to Peter Parker and his journey. I think this version of the character was a natural extension of where the last movie left off. And the moment that the spell was cast, erasing Peter Parker from the memory of everybody on the planet, you automatically are starting the character from a place of isolation. He also didn't have a Tony Stark. He didn't have an Aunt May. He literally starts this movie with zero relationships, which I found to be a very interesting place to start him. And it allowed us to pull back and look a little deeper into Peter Parker, the character, which really extended not only to the emotion that we were exploring, but also to the way that we were capturing the city and the way that we were capturing the choreography of the fights. Everything came down to a ground level. Well, what we wanted to capture was the feeling of what many of us feel when we are isolated, or when we feel like we are the only people on the planet. And loneliness and isolation, even to a normal human, has mental ramifications and physical ramifications. And the big question we are asking ourselves is, if that can happen with a normal person, when the normal person is isolated, what would happen to Peter Parker, who is part spider? What would happen to him when he is completely shutting down his humanity? And what you're seeing little glimpses of, what we imagine would happen to Peter if he has completely shut down his human side. I mean, a lot of it is in the cinematography and the way that we're shooting Peter Parker alone in the middle of a city full of people. I think it's quite relatable that he has one kind of simple AI computer that allows him a little bit of, I wouldn't even say companionship, but it does give him something to talk to. But of course, none of this is enough to feed the human side of him that needs to be fed. I think my brain always thinks character first, even in the middle of a big action sequence or a fight sequence. That this movie has a lot of spectacle, but in the midst of that, I am constantly trying to find ways to highlight the character journey and the heart of each of these characters. Once I lose that thread in a big movie, that's when I lose interest. So I think audiences, even in the big spectacular moments of this movie, will find that they are still very connected to Peter Parker and his journey. And I can't wait to see how people respond to that. I mean, one of the fun things about making this movie was that our crew, we're full of Spider-Man fans, die-hard Spider-Man fans. In our action design and our stunt team, a lot of them were not only fans of the movies and the comics, but were also fans of the video games. So you will see a lot of inspiration pulled from the video games and different moves that they were able to do while playing those games. They would bring those ideas to us and do screen captures of different moves that they wanted to try to do in live action. So, if you keep your eyes open, you'll see a lot. I mean, those two went off script all the time on this movie. And it was very fun to watch. Of course, every scene we know what needs to be said in order to move the plot forward, but We often would run two cameras simultaneously when those two were on screen together, to allow them the freedom to go off book and improvise. And they had a lot of fun doing that, and I had a lot of fun shooting them. Yes, I think anybody could wonder that.